The year is 1991. In my last timeline video, I went over the major highlights of 1990, and while I did mention that you could see the turning point back even then, it was pretty undeniable in 1991. It was all ahead full, and Barney's dino prints were making their mark in more and more places, while still making memories back at home. January 27th, 1991 brought Super Bowl 25 to U.S. screens, but it also brought the Barney in the Backyard Gang video, A Day at the Beach, to a young Leora Rifkin, daughter of then CPTV Vice President of Programming Larry Rifkin. Having chosen it from the local video store after being intrigued by the cover, Leora found herself watching the video over and over. After some investigation, Larry Rifkin realized that he had the perfect solution to PBS's 1991 effort to increase its children's programming. CPTV and the Lions Group started talking, and the initial plans were laid to bring a new Barney television series to the network. So, that's huge news. With the Backyard Gang on air again, and new shows in the planning stages, it was back to the familiar for Barney, with a smaller scale event that more closely resembled prior appearances. On April 23rd, Barney appeared at the Adopt a School fundraising event hosted by the Allen Preschool PTA at Burger King from 4 to 8 p.m. Despite using a most definitely older picture of the original Barney costume, the typical Barney Birthdays costume was utilized for the event itself. Thankfully. May led the way to what was going to be a busy summer for Barney. The ever-iconic Barney in Concert was held and filmed on the 26th at Dallas's Majestic Theater, and suddenly, Barney wasn't the only dinosaur in town anymore. Enter Baby Bop, who joined the gang and quickly became a favorite. Barney in Concert would later be released on home video on the 29th of July. Late in June, it was off to Connecticut. On the 28th, plans for the yet unnamed Barney show were unveiled at the CPTV headquarters in Hartford, with a release date of April of 1992. The very next day, Barney appeared at CPTV's Family FunDay event and performed 2 sing-along concert shows with the Backyard Gang at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Knowing how cool the previous year's sing-along was, I'm sure the CPTV event was great. Those who wanted a chance at some Barney merch could have attended the second annual health fair at Physicians Regional Hospital in Wiley, Texas on July 20th. Besides having a visit with Barney, attendees up to the age of 12 could enter one of 3 Barney coloring contests, based on age group, for a chance at prizes. The coloring sheet, shown here, is actually taken from the simply but accurately named Barney's Coloring Book, which was released the previous year. August came along with news of 14 upcoming Barney boutiques, exclusive merchandising hotspots, and Neiman Marcus locations. This was a pretty impressive breakout for the then 8-employee Lions Group. Barney fans would finally have a choice from a variety of items aside from the earlier Barney Fan Club dolls, and would also be the first to get Rock with Barney, which would release as a Neiman Marcus exclusive video on the 21st of September. If you want to learn more about how this deal came to fruition, I highly recommend checking out this article on Barney History Fans. Good stuff. November takes us a little out of the way to St. Louis, Missouri. Barney would appear at the local Neiman Marcus Barney boutique like he would do later in the month in Houston, but this visit was particularly special. Barney paid a visit to the patients of St. Louis Children's Hospital to spread some much-needed joy. December. The final countdown to the Barney and Friends era was officially on. With production having started in October, newspapers could finally start running interest pieces on the show. The Allen American's December 1st edition featured a spotlight on local resident Max Vaughn's role as Farmer Henderson in what would become Down on Barney's Farm. Somewhat amusingly, the then unnamed show is simply referred to as Barney the Dinosaur Show. At the very end of the year, the 29th, the Allen American would publish one last featured story on Barney. This article is longer and features a lot more information on the upcoming PBS show, as well as this pretty nice group shot of the gang. I think my favorite part of the article, though, comes from Barney co-creator Dennis DeShazer, who said, quote, "We want all children, no matter what their socioeconomic status or nationality, to know that they're Barney's friends," unquote. It's just a really great way to get your audience prepared to meet and understand what Barney's all about. Everyone can be Barney's friend. As I mentioned last time, this is definitely not a full timeline of 91, but some of the more standout moments in the lead up to the Barney and Friends era. It really was a turning point. Everything was lining up perfectly to bring Barney to an audience that certainly couldn't wait to meet him or to further their friendship with him through the medium of public broadcasting. As always, if you're looking to learn more, don't hesitate to check out my friends at Barney Wiki and Barney History Fans. Thanks for watching!